This is the Jaguars' 6th year in a row playing here. As we mentioned in the piece, it's the Eagles first. So it's really a home away from home for the Jaguars, and they have it down to a science. In fact, they do the opposite of what most teams do. When they arrive on Friday, they have the walkthrough because they know the players will be jet lagged. Then they practice on Saturday. There were so many fans there. But as you've been talking about all morning long, the Jaguars did have that nightclub incident on Friday night. They had no curfew. This is interesting, Kay. The Eagles had an 11 p.m. curfew Friday night. So two very different approaches on that one.
Yeah, different approaches for sure. Melissa Stark, appreciate you. We cannot wait to see you on the sideline for this one right here on NFL Network. Shad Khan, despite some hiccups, wanting that success to continue.
Yeah, it's an incredible piece and great job by Melissa. You know, you think about what Shad Khan has done. This is a man who started in life driving around the United States selling auto parts, like out of his car, like Tommy Boy. And now he is an owner of a team. And I remember Jacksonville, market 32. Boring, tedious Jacksonville teams are relevant. He has made it relevant not only in America, internationally. Say what you want about the Jags, they matter, and it's because of Mr. Khan.
Whether or not they win this game, it's going to depend on the run game. That's going to matter, Kyle. So let's talk about it because they need to get that run game going. Leonard Fournette, the focal point of their offense, injured, will not play, continues to be injured with the hamstring. TJ Yeldon, of course, has 3 receiving touchdowns, second to only James White in the National Football League. So he's catching off the backfield, and they traded last Friday for Carlos Hyde. He will make his debut for Jacksonville at Wembley today. Luckily, I have a pretty good running back to my left, Reggie Bush. Break down how this is going to fit Carlos Hyde, TJ Yeldon, and what do they need to do to get a win here?
I'm just happy I've seen some Reggie Bush jerseys out there in the stands, man.
Reggie, you're international.
I'm still happy about that.
No Bills yet, though.
No Bills jersey yet. We got to get a Bills jersey out here. But listen, I think we might see the most run attempts set by the Jacksonville Jaguars today. Because they know the issue that they have at the quarterback position. I play with Carlos Hyde. I know what he brings to the table. He works hard. He runs hard. He loves to be physical. And that's exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars needed, and that's why they went out and got a guy like him. TJ Yeldon, again, he's another player that he's as good as the rest of the running backs. So I look for a big run day from all these running backs, and I'm excited for it.
Well, you got to play keep away ball. You don't want to give Carson Wentz the opportunity that Blake Bortles does not present, which is he makes you nervous when he has the ball in his hands. Whether it's a minute left, 30 seconds left, Carson Wentz can do that. Blake Bortles cannot. So what they do is try to run the ball, get some guys in there that can diversify their lack of assets. So Blake Bortles is a liability, and he needs to be able to show. So they need to run the ball, and run the ball.
Diversify.
Early and often.
Early, often, over and over. We all know Doug Marrone so badly does not want to bench Blake Bortles. He doesn't want to deal with it. And I think this is part of the reason this is such an exciting time in the NFL, because before this trade deadline, it's shopping time. It's go out and buy something, and you do not bring in Carlos Hyde unless you're going to use him and use him. It's like when Reggie went to Harrods yesterday and bought that $20,000 coat. If you buy that, you're going to wear it.
He went in for one jacket.
Look at the bear.
We got Paddington.
He went in with one jacket. He came out with 10 bags.
Shopping season.
His wife said, "What about me?" He said, "What about you?"
She went shopping the day before. What you mean?
Carlos Hyde is averaging over 20 touches a game so far this season. This is a guy who can tote the rock really on every down. And you played with him, I know that, but we're looking for that battering ram. And I love the fact that he'll try to keep Carson Wentz off the field. All of that is going to play hugely here on the field behind us at Wembley. Okay, for the 6th season, the Jacksonville Jags are in London. Jacksonville's Pro Bowl linebacker Telvin Smith takes us along for the ride in an exclusive behind-the-scenes look as he prepared and traveled to hallowed Wembley.
The London effect. Is there any strategic advantage that the Jags have?
Just the fact that they have done it.
We're the best in the world. Best in the world. I got your back out here, you hear me?
You feel me? Y'all know I had to get right for him. We had to get right going across that water. Here we come. Here we go. I'm fresh now. Just got on the bus from the head that way. You feel me? Got them boys. I know. You feel me? That boy Turk. You feel me? Hey. And we'll see how when we get there, man. We're gonna take off, man. Just got here to London. Finna take it there. Got 5. We finna take it there. Love. Continuing the tour. About to hop on right now. NFL Network with Miss Start.
You got to get your swagger back.
Swagger is like sauce. You don't never lose sauce. You just, got to dap into it a little bit and get deep in it.
I don't care who you are or how much jet lag or sleep deprivation you've experienced over the last couple days. You got to be jacked up and ready to go in this game.
Monster personality, monster player on the field.
Unbelievable talent. Guy that can play. He at the linebacker position. He can play sideline to sideline. Yep. He's fast. He can hit. He can hit you. He can also cover you. Yeah. What he brings to the table, he is a guy, when you talk about this D-line, that doesn't get enough credit, but the offensive players know when he's roaming in that middle area, go a different direction or get off on the other exit because that choo-choo train is coming.
Much more to come from us here at Wembley. Let's send it out to Colleen and the GMFB weekend crew out in Mount Laurel. Hey, guys.
Thank you, Kay. So, yeah, expectations for Telvin Smith and that defense so high after what they did a year ago. Even to start the season, look, they've picked up sort of right where they left off, but these last 3 weeks, they've been really tough. You can't put everything on Blake Bortles and the offense. I mean, they've given up 90 points the last 3 weeks, the defense has. And one of the things I just want to run back real quickly on, Melissa Stark mentioned in her report that the Jaguars didn't have a curfew on Friday night. The Eagles had an 11 p.m. one, but the Jags didn't. We all kind of were like, wait, what was that?
I don't understand that one. And again, if this game was in the United States, obviously, Fridays, players have a little bit of off time, but this is an international game. You're trying to set up a way that you're the team here.
Trying to get on schedule.
Trying to get on schedule and all of those things.
That's surprising to me, it
very
is.
surprising.
I wonder if that's going to change next year because we know they're going back. They go every year.
They're going to have a curfew every single day now. Probably.
So this Jags defense, back to them, how much pressure are they under now? Sort of, do you feel like when you look at the offense and the struggles that the offense have had, do you feel like they need to sort of carry the offense?
Well, it's complementary football, and the goal is to win games, right? And I really think this defense, they just can't make matters worse, all right? This offense, to me, should have all the pressure in the world on them. In the last 3 games, they're only averaging 9 points a game. Okay. You can't win ball games in this league only scoring 9 points a game, and it just seems like the defense is getting a little bit demoralized.
Well, you're talking about that compliment. And Colleen, you're right. I mean, at some point there is a little bit of accountability on the defense, but if they were speaking honestly, they'd say we're having to do too much. We're having to be on the field too much. And that's why we're suffering. We need those guys to pick up some of the slack here. I agree with that to a certain extent, but what you don't want in this situation, you hear it all the time, is defense is now trying to do too much. Well, we got to create turnovers. We have to score the points. That's when you're all out of sorts.
Well, we'll see if that changes today at Wembley against the Eagles. Of course, guys, some terrible news, as we mentioned earlier in the show, in Pittsburgh over the last 24 hours. 11 people killed, several others wounded in that shooting Saturday morning in the Pittsburgh synagogue. Our thoughts are with the victims.